stay on my mind. Live in me.
The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local environment. This is where we address the topics that matter. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning, Cayman. Welcome to The Buzz. Yes, this is your host, Kathy Miller. The month of legends is over, which is May, in case everybody else forgot when I mentioned that last week. It was a very legendary month for sure. We wrapped up with Cayman Art Week, and we had the Out of This World Festival, which I just call the Vibes Cartel show. I just said, are you going to Cartel? I didn't care about anybody else, to be honest, except for, some of our local people, of course. I did care about the other artists, but come on, who's bigger than Cartel? So this morning on The Buzz, I'm going to be talking a little bit about that show, specifically about Cartel, the beautiful words that he left for the people of the Cayman Islands, and to talk about some of the groups that were against him. So we're going to have two little perspectives going on. Mine for sure, because I was absolutely for him, 100% being here. So I'm very grateful that he came. It was an amazing show. I'll get into that a little later. So that'll be at 9 o'clock. But in this first segment, I'm happy to welcome on another musical note. I'm welcoming Sophie Nevin. She is a singer, along with Beniel Miller, which I'm pretty sure Cayman knows Beniel Miller because he does have the most famous song for the Cayman Islands that's going to be playing for the rest of the existence of the Cayman Islands, basically, Beniel. I hope you know that. Yes. So Beniel is a producer and a creative powerhouse, a singer, a great musician as well. We are going to be talking about singer and songwriter Sophie. She's a rising artist whose voice has been turning heads across the islands. And alongside her is Beniel, who's the producer and the creative powerhouse behind her sound, and also helping shape the sound of some other local artists. So we're going to be talking about Sophie's journey and their journey together, working together, and what the music scene is looking like in the Cayman Islands right now. Okay, so welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good.
Beniel, how are you?
I'm pretty good.
Good.
Pretty good.
I was like,
early.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel an early vibe.
Yeah, warming up the voice.
I could have brought you my coffee or extra coffee. You're warming up your voice. I like that. All right. So, Sophie, let's get into you a little bit. This is my first time meeting you.
Yes, yeah.
And I have heard of you. I mean, I did see that you did come on Radio Cayman a couple of weeks ago as well.
Yes, Carsley was at my EP listening party.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. So we did a little soundbite there. And
it was Jevy who did a story on you. That was it. That's how I first heard of you. I was like, okay. So, and now we have you here. So I'm happy.
Yes, thank you very much for having me. So happy to be here.
I love music. So I love being able to talk to all the different musicians and artists on island. We get a bit of a feel for them.
Yep.
I like to promote the local music scene as much as possible. I think it's important. I just got back from Brazil and there was music everywhere. You could not escape it. And it was beautiful.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
I loved it. So I'd like to get some of that in Cayman, a live scene constantly.
Of course, yeah. Of course.
You can't walk down a road and not hear anything. That would be awesome. So let's start with you. What are your early musical roots? How did you first get into music?
So my mum has always been a singer. My parents have always been avid music fans. I grew up with the radio on 24/7 in my house. But along with that, they're also massive country music fans. So a lot of my inspiration comes from country music like the Chicks and Garth Brooks and Shania Twain.
Okay.
But yeah, my mum has always been in different bands as a singer. Probably one of my earliest memories is our front living room being the band practice room.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's always in the singer's house.
Exactly, right?
Or the drummer's.
Yeah, that's it. So the drum kit was at the front window, and actually one of the pieces that I use to today is the star-shaped tambourine was actually his. So it's a very old tambourine, but it has followed me through my career.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What was that like growing up pretty much with a band rehearsing in your front living room there?
Well, it's been very helpful now because a lot of the songs that Beniel and I perform now, my mum was actually performing them 20 plus years ago. And it's just like those old favourites just carry on through. Mm-hmm. So it was great opportunity to learn and start memorising my songs from a young age.
Were you getting into the instruments at all from that young age? Were you trying to play around with the sounds? And
yeah, so singing was just a given in my house. We did it all the time. But my mum was also a violinist, so
Lovely.
she was my first violin teacher.
Oh, so you learned violin?
Mm-hmm,
Oh,
yeah.
it's my favorite instrument.
Really?
Yeah, I love the violin.
Yeah, no, it's a good instrument after you've been doing it for a few years. I think it takes a little bit of time to get sounding nice.
I'm not trying to practice it. I don't know if I'll probably not like it after that. So yes, let the experts do their thing.
Yeah, but that was great growing up. And then later on, I started playing some piano, and then tried teaching myself the guitar. So I've dabbled a little bit, and obviously being a teacher over here, I teach violin, I teach piano as well as voice.
So what instruments did you learn growing up then?
So yeah, I learned violin and piano.
And so those were the two main ones?
Yeah, those are my two main ones.
And then of course your voice.
And then voice, yeah. I didn't actually get any tuition for that until later on. It must have been about 16 or 17.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. That's a good little background right there. I would love to grow up in a family like that where there was just always instruments and music around. So
yeah, it's awesome. I'm very privileged. Yeah.
So a little bit about your background we talked about, and I know that you grew up in a musical home. When did your mom was a singer, as you mentioned, but when did you really discover that singing was something that you loved to do as well, and that you were maybe good at?
I think it was always one of those things that I knew I wanted to perform. It's funny looking back on old home videos. I come from Ireland.
Thank you for saying that, because sometimes I get the accents mixed up and I get really embarrassed when I'm like, oh, Scotland.
I get Scottish quite a lot. Yeah, I get Scottish quite a lot because I'm from up north. We've got that Ulster Scots there. But, of course, every Irish child pushed into Irish dancing.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like looking on the videos. How did I not become an Irish dancer?
It looks really fun, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. And I was in it from such a young age. But I always knew that it was going to be performance that I wanted to go into. So there was never really a specific moment. But I think growing up, my mum then started putting me in for different auditions for maybe a TV show or some talent shows, and really starting to hone my craft from then.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you hit the stage from a pretty early age.
Yes.
And were comfortable with it.
Yeah. Because I always grew up around it, right?
Right.
And even going to mum's gigs and being there for the setup and the pull down, and even at such a young age.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good. A lot of people are afraid of the stage, so I love it personally as well. Beniel, do you love it?
The stage is a lovely place to be.
Okay, all right.
I'd rather that than the crowd.
Hey, I can't blame you there. If you're on stage, you're probably getting paid. The rest of us are spending our money to be there. So I feel you on that. Yes. You get to command what's going on, and you get to set the vibe. Yeah, absolutely. It's a great place to be, especially when you're good at what you do, which you are. So how did you two find each other?
It must have been about 2019.
Yeah.
2018, 2019. Okay. I actually saw, I don't know if anyone out there remembers Whiskey Mist.
Yes, the bar, yes.
Yes. So
that was a great little bar too, the setup.
Yeah. So Whiskey Mist, open mic night. Beniel was performing with King Nasava, and I went through and met him there. And I think little did he know that we would be maybe sitting here 8 years later.
Yeah, that's
together.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. And then a little bit about maybe our first gig as well. First gig we ever did together was at the Kimpton.
Okay.
For a Christmas gig. Beniel called on me, and lo and behold, 2 years ago we got called back to hold a residency there. So it's been complete full circle.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so we play at Library by the Sea every Saturday night together, and it's really nice. That feels like our little special place.
How am I just learning about you then? That's insane to me. That's awesome. Okay, so you've been doing the residency at the library at the Kimpton, which is a bar, everybody.
Yeah.
So don't get too confused there.
Yeah.
And for 2 years. It's every Saturday you guys do this.
Every Saturday, yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so it's really been a learning curve for us as well, because it's great for us to be able to hone our craft and hone what our product is as well with the audience. We get great audience feedback because we love to take song requests.
Okay.
Because Beniel is super, super talented.
Yes, he is.
I know, we probably don't have to explain that, but he's got a magical power of where he can just listen to the song and play it.
91%.
Okay, 91% of the time.
Roughly.
How did you come up with that figure? 91% of the time.
The average changes every gig.
Okay.
Some gigs it goes really well. Some gigs, it kind of
Okay.
goes left.
As long as I know a little bit of the song, it's like I sort of feel like I'm a human jukebox with the amount of music that I heard in my household growing up. I usually have the chorus or the verse of something that we can give the audience what they need.
Right.
Yeah,
But
and neither
then
of
it's
us
playing
have
the
a fear
song.
of messing it up. We just go for it. However it goes, it goes.
Right.
And
Yeah.
usually it turns out okay. There's been 1 and 2 times where
It's
it went
just
completely left, but
It's your own little
but
remix.
most of the times
Yeah.
it was fine. Yeah.
yeah.
But Beniel, you have to remind me because I know that you play a multitude of instruments as well. But were you formally trained, or did you learn on your own and you just have that amazing ear, which is crazy to me if you do?
I mean, I had a mix of experiences. So similar to Sophie, I grew up in. I didn't have a band practicing in my living room, but my dad played guitar growing up. So like now when I think back, even in Christmas, like if a friend would come over and that friend played music too, it'd be like a 3-person jam. I'd be playing piano or be playing bass, and that kind of shaped having the ear. And then growing up, I played in church as well, and then I went off to Berkeley in Boston to study piano when I was 18. So that kind of shaped everything together.
Yeah.
I guess. But music has always been a part of my life. So
I don't remember you telling me before that you studied piano. Did we talk about that? I'm
we
expecting you to remember so early now.
Maybe we did. And radio came on, shaped my life too.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
I think
know a
I
little
mentioned
bit.
that last
Yeah.
time. Like driving in the car.
Yeah.
We lived in Bodden Town. My mom worked at West Bay Primary, and she unknowingly played Radio Cayman. Well, she knew she was playing it, but she didn't know I was soaking in all the music in the morning. Going to school, so Radio Cayman played a big part in me, like knowing a lot of the songs we even play, because I just heard it on the radio and it's kind of just lived in the back of my head. So when a song gets called up, I just pull it from the archives and it flows.
I feel like it's almost a photographic memory, but for sound.
Yeah,
Which to me,
Yeah.
like with certain musicians, when you have that talent, it absolutely blows me away because I'm like, how do you guys do that?
it's repetition, because you know, like it's a language. So at the end of the day, the more you hear it, the more you start to see the patterns and understand how it works, which ties into what we do creatively as well. Because from playing these songs, even at gigs, you see what the audience responds to, and it's somewhat of a cheat code, because you kind of know what chords give a certain impact, what dynamics give a certain impact, like what moments can be big, which moments should be small.
Yeah.
And it lends itself really well to being creative too.
I like that you call it a cheat code, but I don't look at it like that. I think it's you strategically addressing the audience that you have in front of you right then and there. Like you don't know who's going to be there, and
Yeah.
having to adjust on the fly to somewhat appease them is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a cheat code is something that you absolutely know what that test is exactly coming and how to prepare for it, right? But man, you never know with the audience that you're getting.
There's certain things that always work.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh.
for sure.
Can you tell us one of the secrets?
I mean, there's.
We could give away 2 of the biggest ones.
What are you thinking?
Even
Well, I
just
mean,
one.
it's like Marmite, you either love it or you hate it. But
Yeah.
I think even you love it or you hate it, you still sing along.
Yeah.
Sweet Caroline.
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah.
That is a crowd favourite.
Yeah, and well, not only Sophie, like all the singers I work with, there's one song where I feel like no matter what the audience is, everyone taps in, and it's At Last. For some reason, that song
Etta James.
Wow.
it grabs people's attention every single
Every
time.
time.
Wow.
It always works.
interesting.
If the crowd is doing something else, when that starts, you're like, everyone lights up.
Oh, it's so sultry though as
Yeah.
well. So there,
Yeah.
it's
It's a
that
beautiful
feeling.
song.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It is.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was going to say "Stand by Me." Is "Stand by Me" that song? But no, that was in my head. Don't ask
I
me
mean,
why.
that one's an easy listening one, so people vibe to it, but it won't grab everyone.
Okay.
But they'll vibe.
Yeah.
They'll bop to it.
Okay, I like it. We're going to take our first commercial break, but when we come back, I know that you guys met at Whiskey Mist, but I want to know the conversation that drew you guys to work together. All right, we'll talk about that when we come back from the break.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Calling Caymanians. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service is hiring local recruits. Are you interested in serving your community on the front line? Apply now to join our ranks in service to the Cayman Islands. As a police officer, you make a difference. Be a part of a team and experience a job where no two shifts are the same. The deadline for applications is Sunday, June 14th at midnight. Visit rcips.ky to apply now and start your journey with the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. We are talking about the local music scene, and we are focusing on a singer-songwriter, Sophie Nevin, and as well, Beniel Miller, also a singer, also a songwriter, also a musician, and a producer, and a creative powerhouse. They've been working together, and I want to know, as I said right before the break, I want to know that conversation that happened between you that realized, we should work together, we got to do something together. If you can remember.
I don't think it was a conversation. I think naturally over time, because we were teaching at the same place.
Oh.
So that's how we really met, like how we would have known of each other.
Yeah.
But over time, like, you know, if there was a break where both of us had a break, like we'd probably jam a song or we started off doing a few covers together, like just for fun. And I mean, over the years, musically, we just built a chemistry and we kind of understand, you know, what we're going for at this point. So it's an easy working relationship musically.
So what are you going for?
I think it depends on the moment and the time, because some days, I mean, we'll get into the writing process with the EP. I was very much, no, this is going to be a piano song. And Beniel's like, no, it's actually a country song.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes we're so far apart, but then we somehow combine to bring it together in the middle, somewhere in the middle. But
that's so interesting how your ears are hearing different things.
Different things, yeah. And I don't know, even though we had the same sort of background growing up with the, you know, radio always in the background, you know, we still have those different perceptions of maybe what something should sound like sonically.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you come to an agreement then?
Again, just...
You got to trust the producer.
A lot of the time is feeling, right?
It's feeling, and it's a relationship where we're both honest. Like if I don't like something, I'll say it. If she doesn't like something, we'll say it. And it's always about what's best for the song. It's not an ego thing where it's my idea, so this has to work. But it's more how can we make the song the best version of the song? Because then we both leave happy.
Yeah,
you know.
I love how you said that. It's what the best thing that you're trying to do for the song.
Yeah.
Because I feel like whenever you're writing things like this, ego has to come out of it, right? Because you're not writing for yourself. Of course, you're writing for yourself
Yeah,
to a certain degree, for a certain degree, but you're also writing to that audience as well. What's the audience going to relate to as well? You know, from your experience, how can they relate to that in their lives?
How does the songwriting process work for you? Is it like the lyrics coming first, or do you have a melody in your head?
For me, it just depends on the song. Sometimes, I'm on radio today, I might get, inspired, write a song about radio. Or I might see a quote and get inspired by a quote. Or there's sometimes I'm driving along in the car and I'll come up with a certain melody in my head. So it just sort of depends on the day, really, what the song is.
What about you, Beniel?
I would say it's the same. It's a mix. It's a mix of things. But what I've found working with Sophie, she has a lot of ideas. So it gives me a lot of things to work with. Because I'm more of a concept guy. Like if you give me the word, I'll help you build a story. You know?
Okay.
And because it's not like how we worked on it. She's co-produced this thing too, and I've done lyrics and melodies too. It's like a back and forth to get this thing sounding right. But a lot of times Sophie will come up with like I'd say a poem because it's very lyrically dense, and like for me, I'm about like making the lyrics simple enough so I can remember it the first time I hear it. It's not too much to process.
I'm with Sophie on the lyrically dense part, but also on you with the fact that what people gravitate to is usually like the simplest, kind of most repetitive sounds that they'll just have it in their head, and that's that. But it's a two-way street.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful thing about music.
Yeah.
Because
I want to. For me, it's like telling the message in the least amount of words possible, because sometimes you can over-explain yourself, but you want to leave room for the imagination. Because what one song will mean to me, it'll mean something different for Sophie, it'll mean something different for you.
Yeah.
But it's the same lyrics, it's the same song. So it's great to leave it open for interpretation so it relates to you. If I tell you my literal story, then
so
you just
am I.
listen to my story.
That's the difference, I think, between men and women a little bit there. We're very focused on the words, as women, I think. Yeah,
completely.
It's interesting. So you're working on an EP right now. It's your first EP.
Yeah, Beautiful Mistakes.
Beautiful Mistakes. I love that. Yes. Mistakes can be beautiful. Absolutely.
Of course.
We learn from them. We grow from them.
Yeah. I mean, we started off the project with a cosmic theme in mind. So I actually wanted to be called Constellations, or something to do with galaxy and universe. And the more and more we went through this process, and even going into the recording process and demoing, these little mistakes just started to appear, which started to help to actually craft it and hone the project, and different sounds and things coming up. And we're like, actually, that might fit. So Beautiful Mistakes.
Okay, how long have you been working on this EP?
Officially, probably 4 months.
Okay, that's not bad.
Unofficially,
okay. You're gonna say 4 years?
two years.
Longer than Rihanna is taking with her next album? No?
I don't think that one's coming.
Okay, so we look forward to Sophie's EP coming out soon, Beautiful Mistakes. Do we have a release date for this as yet?
Yes, it's going to be being released on my birthday, actually, the 28th of June.
Okay, happy early birthday.
Yes, thank you very much. And we are going to have a launch party at Cayman Cabana.
Okay, lovely.
So please, for all the listeners out there, come along, check it out. For reservations, head to Cayman Cabana's website and pop them a little email just to make sure you get a table for the night.
That'll be lovely. That's June 28th.
June 28th,
that's
yeah.
Like album release party.
Yep, we're going to have live music. We're also going to have a live airbrush artist doing some personalised merch for Beautiful Mistakes.
Cool, that's very cool.
Yeah, something a little bit different.
So on the live music tip, I understand, Beniel, you did bring your guitar here today. Were you going to strum a little song for us? Were you going to sing a little? Listen, you brought it, so I'm figuring you're going to have a tiny performance for us. We have about 6 minutes before the show ends. So if you want to grab your, I don't know, up to you.
I was thinking about it.
Great.
Thinking.
Should I?
We'll go for it. We can give you a verse and a chorus of Stars Glow if you would like.
Go grab that. I'll ask Sophie a couple questions while you grab your guitar. And
someone did grab it.
Okay, all right. You brought an assistant. Okay, no. Thank you, Carsley Fuller. That was so cute. I don't know why Carsley's face was so red. Carsley. And we didn't capture that on the video, I'm pretty sure. But that was awesome. So Carsey helped out, brought the guitar. Beniel's setting up, and he's going to play a song for us. And while he's getting that ready, Sophie, the question I have for you with this is there any kind of favorite moments that you have and anything that stands out to you that says, yes, I'm definitely in the right path, I'm in alignment doing this, pursuing music?
I feel like where I'm at right now in life, I'm going through a really big shift, and this has definitely confirmed that this is what I'm meant to be doing. Just heading, I mean, we have full-time jobs, but heading to Beniel's every morning and just being able to sit and hone into my craft has just been such a great experience. And the process, the further we get into it, the easier it gets in the songwriting process as well, because we're not having to decide or, fumble words. We're like, no, don't like that, cut that, do something different. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the process becomes a little bit more streamlined.
Has there been a challenging part in the creation of this EP? Anything that made you want to pull your hair out and be like, nah, I don't want to do this?
No, do you know what? Not really, because I just love the creative process as a whole, and I love the challenges and trying to figure out how to overcome them. Of course, Beniel can see that I get flustered, but Beniel's like, no, Sophie, it's okay. Let's try it this way and look at it from a different angle. But no, I love it as a whole. There's been no real stressful times yet.
That's good. That's excellent.
Yeah.
That's excellent. And the little that I do know of Beniel, he does have that vibe. And I'm sure you can just kind of calm things down and be like, it's okay. This is the approach we're going to take. So
yeah, of course, because Beniel likes to say, I'm a get it doneer, right?
Yeah.
And I will.
I love that, Beniel. I get it doneer.
Yeah, I'm a get it doneer to a fault. So I've learned to maybe slow down, and before I would go and jump into something, he's like, just think about it and then do.
Okay.
And I'm a little too laid back.
But, that's also very much a way that men operate, a very logical, calm approach at times. So, you ready? I think he's ready. We're going to get a little tune in here from Beniel Miller and Sophie Nevin. Take it away, guys.
We're going to try a little bit of Stars Glow.
Awesome.
And here we are.
In an empty room, starting over is nothing new. Gave him my all, rise and the fall. How will I get through? Lost in my head, stuck in my bed, staring at the roof. Regretting all the things I said, all the broken promises. Look in the glass, all I see, strangers staring back at me. Look in my eyes, now I see who I'm really meant to be. There's beauty in the fight, don't let life pass you by. There's beauty in the storm, I look up to the sky. The dreams may fade when shadows grow, winds of change will always blow. Only in darkness stars glow.
Beautiful. Oh, that was so beautiful.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
It's very early in the morning to be hitting those high notes.
It is.
Don't know what you're going to get.
That's why Beniel's playing the guitar instead. We got you singing. That was it. It has a bit of like a Nora Jones, right? That's her name. Vibe to me. which is great.
We haven't
like
got
that's
Nora
great.
Jones before.
Well, boom, you're getting it now.
Great.
Yes,
Great. I love it.
Yeah, that was the bit of that vibe to me, which I love. So I gotta end this segment. So I'm sorry it has to end so soon for us, but a reminder to everybody: your first EP, coming out June 28th at Cayman Cabana. It's also your birthday that day, so people can come down, enjoy a great night at Cayman Cabana. You can go to the website if you want to make reservations there. You can even call in and make reservations there. I know Luigi's going to have people.
Yeah.
He's going to take care of people. You guys are going to put on a great show and entertain everybody. And I wish you the best of luck in the final few weeks for your album to get finished and wrapped up.
And please do go and check out Stars Glow. It's on all music platforms now. That's
Stars Glow.
the first single that we released.
That was the song that you just played, yes.
Yes,
It's a beautiful
yeah.
song. It
Thank you so much.
No problem. Beniel and Sophie, thank you so much for joining me on The Buzz this morning. And best of luck with the EP album release.
Thank you.
Okay, no problems. We're going to go to the 8 a.m. news, and I'll be back with you at 8:15.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. As you've been hearing right here on Radio Cayman, the country has been hit with a dust alert as, quote, moderate concentration of Saharan dust moves into the Western Caribbean. That means you need to plan for reduced air quality, either by staying indoors or digging out your old N95 COVID masks. And this latest weather event ties into this year's hurricane season message from Hazard Management. Preparedness is power. Be ready every day. Premier, the Honorable Andre Ebanks.
This year, that commitment extends beyond hurricanes. Heat waves and Saharan dust events are recurring realities that place our most vulnerable residents, particularly the elderly, young children, and those with respiratory conditions at serious risk. We urge every resident to stay informed, heed the guidance of the Department of Public Health and relevant authorities when these events occur.
Today, you can expect partly cloudy skies and hazy conditions with a 30% chance of rain, along with warm and hazy conditions for the next few days as this plume of Saharan dust slowly drifts across the Western Caribbean. And while the dust plume is expected to roll through the region by the end of the week, you won't see relief from high heat anytime soon, which is why local disaster agencies are using the start of hurricane season to push a wider preparedness message.
Be aware of how you're feeling. If you feel dizzy, take a break. If you're working outside, don't do it during long periods, take some short breaks. Make sure you hydrate. You need to also look out for other people's signs also. If you're working with teams, if you're working on a roof, if you're working on a construction site, yes, you need to get the work done, but also you need to be safe. Being aware of the signs of being affected by excessive heat is important.
National Weather Service forecaster Gilbert Miller tells Radio Cayman those include severe throbbing headaches, dizziness, nausea, and changes in mental state like confusion, slurred speech, or even agitation. Cayman Islands Red Cross's O'Neill Minot.
So during summer camps, there's a lot of outdoor playing. We have to ensure we keep the kids hydrated, properly hydrated. We limit their exposure, prolong the exposure out there in the sun, direct sunlight. So we have to look at a lot of times keeping a lot of the interactions and activities indoor as opposed to outdoors.
Another vulnerable community, the elderly. Make sure to check on your elderly relatives and neighbors to make sure they aren't falling victim to rising temps. And one of the most deadly risks?
Parked cars without the AC and engine running. It's advisable that you don't leave them any at all.
In April, the National Weather Service issued a summer heatwave forecast warning residents that the region would see a strong El Nino effect and the Caribbean would see above average temperatures, conditions that will impact, quote, public health, water resources, energy demand, and agriculture. The heatwave alert says this wet season is predicted to have characteristics similar to those seen in 2023, which recorded 10 heat waves and a new record max temp. And in other news, Elroy Brian Wadler is formally appointed the Deputy Chief Officer for Education and Planning after acting in the role since June 2024. As Deputy Chief Officer, the ministry says he will, quote, shape the policies and long-term plans that guide education across the Cayman Islands, advising the Chief Officer on policy matters and working with government and school leaders to set the strategic direction for the sector. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller.
BBC News with Emily Thomas. The World Meteorological Organization is warning that this year's El Nino weather pattern could develop into one of the strongest on record. The rare Super El Nino would cause extreme weather around the world. The number of Ukrainians killed in a huge Russian drone and missile attack is rising. At least 18 are now known to have died. Dozens were injured as the overnight strikes hit apartment blocks in Dnipro and Kiev. The Israeli military has told people who live in the southern Lebanese city of Nabatea to leave ahead of planned strikes. A spokesman accused Hezbollah of violating a ceasefire. On Monday, President Trump announced a new partial truce between Israel and Hezbollah. 2 people have died in the central Kenyan town of Nanyuki during protests against plans to establish a US-backed Ebola isolation centre near a military base. The centre is intended to care for US citizens exposed to Ebola in eastern Congo. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio. For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. Brought to you by UHealth International, University of Miami Health System. International patients go to UHealth International for consultations with renowned physicians, advanced treatment technologies, leading-edge medical therapies, and state-of-the-art surgical procedures. Whatever your particular reason for going to UHealth International, you will receive customized medical care delivered within a compassionate, multicultural setting. The care you need when you need it.
RC Fusion is proudly brought to you by TCE Paint Shop, Farmers and Artisans Retail Market, and My Canda Cleaners. RC Fusion, weekdays 10 a.m. to 12 midday, right here on Radio Cayman 89.9.
RC Fusion.
Radio Cayman Energy.
The 8 a.m. weather update, brought to you by
CG Britcade, where people come first.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 85 degrees. Relative humidity is 80%. The barometric pressure is 29.93 inches and rising. The wind is out of the east-northeast at 8 knots. Overnight low temperature was 82 degrees. Synopsis indicates slight to moderate winds and seas are expected across the Cayman Islands as a ridge pattern dominates the area. There is a low chance of a few showers with slight dust haze embedded within the atmosphere. An increased chance of hazy skies can be expected from this afternoon as a moderate concentration of Saharan dust is expected to move into the Western Caribbean. A dust alert is in effect. Exercise caution for reduced air quality. Satellite imagery show a few low-level clouds across the Cayman area. Now the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today, calling for partly cloudy and hazy conditions with a 30% chance of showers, and moderate Saharan dust will be across the area mainly from this afternoon. Of course, a dust alert is in effect. And temperatures will rise to the low 90s with a heat index near 103 degrees Fahrenheit. Your winds will be east at 10 to 15 knots, seas slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with cloudy spells and a 30% chance of showers, and temperatures falling to the low 80s tonight. Your winds will be east to southeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Today's high tide will occur this morning at a minute after 10, low tide this afternoon at 4:33, with a high tide again tonight at 11:55. The sun will set this evening at 6:59 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:47. And the outlook is calling for warm and hazy conditions for the next few days as the plume of Saharan dust slowly drifts across the Western Caribbean. A dust alert will be in effect through Thursday. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
If you have an objection to this marriage, speak now or forever hold your...
Don't do it, Tevin! I still love you. I have since the day we stole your mom's car and got matching dolphin tattoos.
Oh, Lordy.
Janelle? From spring break 08?
Yes, it's me.
Janelle, you've got to move on.
We're like the wedding guest that doesn't ruin the ceremony. CG Britk. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britk, where people come first.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman is proud to continue to serve our island community. The club continues to host successful community projects like the Prostate and Colon Cancer Awareness Campaign, free site screening in schools, spelling bee, swim meets, and their community pantry. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman looks forward to continuing their service for many years to come. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman, where there's a need, there's a lion, serving the community for over 50 years.
Happy 50th anniversary to the #1 station in the land, Radio Cayman. It's Mr. Nachi Reggae Man, yeah.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Top of the morning, let's check in with traffic, see what's happening on our roads. Coming from the east further up on Shamrock Road, traffic is flowing at a moderate pace. Further down, a little different story. Little steadier traffic as you approach the Linford Pearson Highway. And traffic is steady coming off of Bobby Thompson Way and Agnes Way. Turn our attention to the West Bay four-way stop, flowing at a moderate pace, as well as on Edward Street. Huldah Avenue, steady traffic. And the usual traffic on Walkers Road heading to the Georgetown area, steady traffic. And traffic is slow moving on Crew Road heading to Georgetown. Expect delays. And heading east on Crew Road, traffic is moving on pretty good. Coming off of the Estella Tibbetts Highway, steady but flowing traffic, and continuing on to North Sound Road. And Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue flowing at a moderate pace. Industrial Park area flowing at a good pace as well. And if you've seen accidents or incidents, let us know by calling us at 949-6-990. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Have a good morning and drive safe.
Start your year off right with Subway's Fresh Fit menu. 4 protein packed subs with 20 grams or more protein, under 500 calories, and loaded with full servings of crisp veggies on hearty multi-grain bread. Try the grilled chicken and avocado, the ham and turkey stacker, the seasoned steak and avocado, or the turkey and ranch delight. Big flavor, plenty of protein, and fresh veggies in every bite. Fuel your day the Fresh Fit way. Only at Subway. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I don't know what happened to my mic right there. I got a little buzzy on me. Okay. Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. And in this segment of the show, I'm going to be talking about the first English Speaking Union branch in the Cayman Islands. It's the launch of ESU Cayman. We're going to be hearing all about what ESU is. As I mentioned, it's the English Speaking Union. It's a national branch of a global educational charity that was founded in 1918. And it's not only the first in Cayman, it's the first in the Caribbean. So we're going to be hearing about that, the details of what the English Speaking Union is, and my guests this morning are Rebecca Preen. She's the Deputy Chair of the ESU Commonwealth and co-founder of ESU Cayman, and Sean Ilul, co-founder of ESU Cayman. I did add a little extra emphasis on the last name there, Sean. Good morning. Welcome to the show. How are you guys doing?
Good morning. Thank you for having us. We're doing good.
Yeah. Good morning. It's good to be here.
It's good to have you here. So I was a little excited when I saw this because I would like to say that I'm a Toastmaster, or I was at one point. I did Toastmasters for a few years. So I love public speaking forums. I love public speaking events. I love speaking groups. I think it's so essential And yes, I'm on radio, and it's not a requirement for you to do any kind of speaking classes or anything like Toastmasters, per se. But it's something that I know that is so powerful, because when you have an audience, when you have to do presentations, when you might have to hit a stage, I host events, I know how important it is to have a grasp of your audience, but also a grasp of what you're going to say and how you're going to say it, how you draw people in. I know it's so important. So I love the fact that there is a whole new branch, per se, when it comes to speaking here in Cayman. So let's hear about it. What is the ESU Cayman? What is it? Why does it matter?
ESU Cayman is where young people can learn to turn their ideas into influence. We help students find their voice, sharpen their thinking, and take those skills from the classroom to the world stage. You've had a lovely intro about ESU and how we were founded in 1918. We're 108 years old. So we've refined our craft to the point where we're ready to expand and have our first presence in the Caribbean here in Cayman.
All right. Now let me get a little background about each of you. How did you get involved with ESU?
So we're both beneficiaries of the ESU. We met at the competition, the international competition. So we're both national champions of our countries, mine Thailand and Sean Malta, respect. So yeah, that's the start of it, and it's blossomed into other things as well. I was also the beneficiary of the debate academy at the ESU, but Sean, you can shine a bit more about it.
Is that in London or in Thailand that you were the...
So, national public speaking champion of Thailand.
Of Thailand, yes.
And the national winner of each country, each of the 50 countries gets sent to London once a year to compete on the world stage.
Okay. Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, it's so cool. So I was a young student in Malta and found out about this competition online. And I saw this post where you could effectively participate in a competition to go to London. And I was just intrigued for the London part, to be honest. And showed up, started competing, found a community of really interesting people, as you mentioned, similar to Toastmasters, centered around oracy, discussion, debate, and sharing your passions on a stage. Next thing I know, I'm in London meeting 50 other awesome humans from all across the globe. Becky was one of them. And since then, I've never really left the ESU. I've been organizing national competitions in Malta and abroad, just helping in any way I can. And here we are, doing it in Cayman.
Is the ESU is geared to teenagers, a certain age group?
16 to 20 primarily is our beneficiaries for the National Public Speaking Championships, but the entire ecosystem is way broader than that, and I think Becky has a lot of oversight on that too.
Yeah, as a board member, we talk about the scope quite a lot, because young people, what does that mean? Like, we can't possibly limit it between 16 to 20. And so we have other educational products that expand beyond that. An example is we co-published a book, which I have in my bag, actually, that I can get out. It's the basics of oracy for young kids under the age of 10. And so young people is who we target. Obviously, with public speaking as a skill, it can stretch to beyond that, like you said, with Toastmasters. But we almost act as a feeder before that. And you'll notice quite a few Toastmasters had actually been a part of the ESU initially.
That's interesting. Now, I'm asking if you guys were teenagers when you first discovered about this competition. Yes. Okay. So did you know at that stage in your life as a teenager that you loved to speak? Were you afraid of the stage? Did you like to be a bit of a performer in that sense?
I was an incredibly shy kid.
Because you were sitting there shaking your head like, no.
No, not at all. Yeah, I loved English.
Me too.
I studied English literature, and it was my English teacher that knocked on the door and said, would you like to try this? Because public speaking is an extension of your essays. You might as well have a go and see where it will take you. And if it wasn't because I took that leap, then I wouldn't be here today. But we've been saying public speaking is a muscle, and you need to flex it and exercise it. No one starts out an amazing public speaker to begin with. And so what the ESU does is it gives you these tools to equip you to shine on the stage.
Right.
And I'm not sure if you're familiar with the term glossophobia.
No, not at all.
So glossophobia is the most common phobia on the planet. It happens to be the phobia of speaking in public.
Oh, okay.
So I myself have had public speaking anxiety for as long as I can remember. Even just before coming here on the radio, I was feeling a bit anxious and queasy. but I've spoken in front of tens of thousands of people across the world, from fora like the United Nations to the United Parliament, in my national parliament as well. And no matter how big or small, that those butterflies still come back. And I think that's one of the most beautiful parts of the English Speaking Union and the program it provides. It allows you to be able to play with that anxiety as a metric point to get out of your comfort zone in a safe space and slowly train that muscle, train those skills, to realize that it's okay to face that fear, to test yourself, to push yourself. And it's remarkable how quickly that ends up feeding into other aspects of your life as well, with regards to how you can take yourself out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely. And there's something that I'd read, I don't know how long ago it was, that described those kind of butterflies that you get in your stomach, or that feeling of anxiety that might hit you right before you're going to do a public speech of any sort of a presentation, right?
The way I like to frame it is to alchemize that anxiety into excitement, because your body can't distinguish between the two. Your body's trying to protect yourself, and there's that fight or flight instinct. But actually, if you reframe the narrative and turn it into something joyful and exciting, that's one way of tackling it. It's all a mindset game.
Yes, reframing it. And it was in this quote or whatever it was that I read, somebody was describing it, saying when you get those butterflies or that anxiousness, it's actually a really beautiful thing when you flip your mind and think about it in a different way, because it's your body saying that you are excited about it, that you still have a passion for what you're about to talk about, that it still really means something to you, and that's just resonating in your body. So it might not necessarily be nerves and anxiousness. Yeah, there might be some of that, but there's also that excitement part of, this is what I love to do, and I'm about to share it with people as well. So
I feel like, to me, it's always a metric that I'm about to do something of significance. Yes. In one shape or form. It's my body telling me that, right?
Yes.
And when we speak with young people who are often anxious of applying for the National Public Speaking Competition, that metric is something that excites me in turn. When I realize that there is this potential internal fear of, can I do this? I'm feeling anxious about it. Am I even allowed to feel anxious or scared? When usually that is the default emotion that we look for. So it's, I think even that's why the age group from 16 to 20 is such a remarkable age group to have. It's the perfect time to experiment, to test, to fail forward, to find out where your boundaries are and how you can transcend them with regards to skill sets. And then taking that to the world stage is a whole other eureka moment with regards to how many opportunities can be in front of you as soon as you start doing that.
Yeah, 16 to 20 is a very pivotal era for younger people. If you even, I mean, for me, it was over 20 years ago now. But when I look back at that time and, you're still in high school, maybe just graduating high school, and then you're going into, quote, the real world, it is such a complete difference in how you have to talk to people, how people are talking to you. You're no longer being coddled necessarily as you would be in schools. And the more confidence you can build at that young age, because it's such a transitionary time in a young person's life, I mean, the better equipped you are going to be going forward.
Totally.
Yes. Now, Rebecca gave a little bit of her experience that she was very, very shy as a teenager, and public speaking was absolutely not her thing, so we know how she was introduced to it. But what about you, Sean? Was speaking your thing when you were younger? Were you an actor at all? Did you love performing?
Not per se. I think what drove me towards the ESU was fear. I was scared of public speaking, but I also thought it would be a good place to learn. Through it, I managed to find a platform to be able to communicate my passion, and it all somewhat happens in real time. So I too was someone who was, again, before every speech, I'm always quite anxious. But I see that as an indicator that I'm chasing significance. And it hasn't changed irrespective of the forum that I find myself in, no matter how big or small it might be. There's always that little butterflies that I feel. And I think it's why I enjoy it so much too. It's you get an adrenaline kick out of it.
Yeah, you do.
But no, I didn't have a background in acting
or anything like that.
No.
Yeah, I'm just always curious because that's not something necessarily that a lot of younger people would turn to, right? And if, for me, it's like if you kind of like performing, you like being out there, you might be like, this is a skill I think I can master.
Totally.
But it's always the shyer people that I'm curious as to, how did you get into this? So
And
thank you for sharing, Elise.
Remarkably, it's also the shyer people that tend to give the most phenomenal speeches beyond just a performance. When you find a platform to speak about something you're passionate about and that's something that's significant to you, that's when the ESU becomes something remarkable. It becomes so much more about a well-polished speech, and it transcends this moment where you have a young person, or a human rather, discovering the platform in which they can communicate something important to them, and that's where the real value is.
Now, I'm expecting you to remember, but the speeches that won you the competition in your respective countries, what was your topic on?
To define is to limit.
Oh, did you all have to do the same kind of topic?
Yeah.
So that was, that was
every-
one of the rounds. Okay, so we were against each other.
So everyone this year will be every country is doing the same team. So our team was the same in our national countries, and then it applies to the internationals as well. And there's 2 teams to run on.
Okay, so let's break down exactly how the competition works then.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what we're going into. Yes.
Yeah, so we have a couple of rounds, and we have different facets of assessing public speaking in this realm. The first one is the prepared speech. So on that Saturday, we have a boot camp, and we'll help the students refine their craft and get real-time feedback on the actual written part of the speech. But obviously, public speaking is not just about prepared speeches. There's always some impromptu, off-the-cuff scenarios. And so the students would progress into an impromptu round where they'd have to pick a topic or a quote out of a hat, and they've got 5 minutes to prep. All they have is a dictionary, no ChatGPT, none of that. And then they'll go on the stage and speak for a good 2 to 3 minutes for the impromptu rounds. So that's what it is in summary. We've got a mix of impromptu, a mix of prepared, with the idea that we pick some grand finalists at the end of the day, and then they will present to our esteemed panel of judges.
Okay, so that's how the competition works.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
then the winner will so this year the team is to power to question is the basis of all human progress. That will be the team that the speakers will also be speaking about in London.
Okay.
So in our case, it was to define is to limit, and then the finals were peace is not an absence of war.
Okay.
They're very interesting topics.
To define, what was it? To define
is to limit.
Is to limit. I like that title of
it was
the
a
theme.
beautiful
It's a beautiful
title.
one. Yeah.
And I love how it leaves, but the titles are specific enough to prompt you to think, but ambiguous enough to leave room for interpretation. And I think that's the genius part of it.
It is, absolutely. Because you can take it and make it into whatever story you want to share there
100%.
with the audience. So why was it important to establish an ESU chapter in the Cayman Islands?
Coming from a fellow small island just in the Mediterranean as opposed to the Atlantic, when we came here, we immediately realized there was no branch here. And our immediate, I think, reaction was, why? Like, why hasn't it been established here? Why hasn't it happened? We met some brilliant people on island already that are running similar initiatives, and it became evident that it was just a collection of reasons as to why it didn't happen. So immediately we saw that there is enough talent on island, there's enough interest on island, and Caymanian youth, or youth in Cayman rather, would definitely benefit from having a part of the world stage. So very quickly it just came about mobilizing our personal network on island, because we've been here 9 months, 10 months.
Almost a year.
Yeah, close to a year. And we just started bringing people we knew together to be able to find out what would need to happen to get it to work, both from the international network and locally. And here we are organizing the first NPSC.
All right. And it's the first in the Caribbean.
First in the Caribbean.
So
Not the last, though, hopefully.
Well, hopefully not, yeah. Hopefully it's going to be a little bit of a domino effect.
For sure.
But I was surprised to be like, okay, it's also the first in the Caribbean. So that's, how does that make you feel knowing that you're basically birthing the ESU in the Caribbean? Not birthing it, but you know what I'm saying.
Funnily enough,
planting the seed over here.
as strange as this may sound, I believe both of us feel we have that responsibility to pass the torch on to young youth that are here. We both benefited from this opportunity in our own countries. It changed our life in significant ways. And like arriving here and seeing that, the ESU wasn't established here our immediate reaction was we feel like we have the responsibility to flame the flame. Yeah.
Stoke the fire.
Stoke the fire.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think you've hit the nail on the head, Sean. It's affected us and it's changed the trajectory of our lives. So we're here to open those doors of opportunity and put Cayman on the world map and allow mini ambassadors to represent their country and also share that cultural exchange amongst the other national winners from around the world.
And build some great lifelong skills. Yes. Okay, we got to go to our first commercial break. When we come back, we're going to hear a whole lot more about the ESU.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
This is an important announcement for all 1986 Cayman Islands High School graduates. It's time for your 40th reunion. We're throwing it back Saturday, 13th June, 6:30 p.m. at Georgetown Yacht Club. Tickets $65 available at Luxurious Nail Salon, Prodigy Jewelry, Reflections Shedden Road, and Jose's Rubis. Or call 926-1032. The CIHS class of 86. Time to go back, way back to the 80s. Saturday, June 13th at the Georgetown Yacht Club.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we are talking about the ESU, which is the English Speaking Union, and the new chapter that has opened in the Cayman Islands. And in studio with me, I have guests Rebecca Preen. She's the Deputy Chair of the ESU Commonwealth and co-founder of ESU Cayman, and Sean Ilil, who's the co-founder of ESU Cayman. So we heard a little bit about what ESU is, the reason that they've decided to bring the ESU to the Cayman Islands. Got a bit of a background on both of our guests into how they got involved, what public speaking meant to them. And my listeners know I'm an avid fan. I'm a big fan of public speaking. I think it's important that we get this skill down because we have to talk to people, we have to make presentations, we have to interact with others from different cultures, in different kind of workspaces and whatnot. So we've got to know how to communicate as best as we can. So when we say public speaking, we don't always mean it's you doing a TED Talk and getting ready for a TED Talk that might come in your life, or having to address thousands of people or host a big event. It doesn't necessarily mean that. It could just be a conversation between you and somebody else that's not somebody you know very, very, very well. So to talk about the ESU Cayman chapter, there is a national speaking competition that is taking place in Cayman. So can you give us some details on that?
Yep. So This weekend, on Saturday, we have a full day of a boot camp where we'll equip students with the basics, the fundamentals of public speaking, but we'll also take them through quite fun exercises such as breathwork sessions, board games. We've got this one that's our favorite. It's called You Can't Say which avoids you having to use any filler words altogether. So that Saturday is all about community building and understanding the landscape and getting to network with all your peers around you. And Sunday is competition day where we'll have various heats. I think I spoke about it before. We've got a prepared speech round, and then we'll lead into the impromptus, and then from there we'll pick our finalists for the grand final.
Okay. And then there's going to be another grand final round? Or is the grand final round the London one?
So, well, there's the national finals
Yes.
is the Sunday.
Okay,
and
yes.
then the winner from that, the national public speaking champion of Cayman, will get sent to London in July.
Okay, awesome. And how many 16 to 20-year-olds do you have involved in this so far?
We're about we have 5 more places, give or take. We aimed to have we wanted to have 30 people this year, and we're just going beyond that, hopefully. And it's our first time taking a stab at this competition locally. So our goal is to at least have a group of 30 people at the competition.
Yeah, this year feels like a pilot year for us. And to just give you context of the other countries, in China, I think it's 1 million of students that partake every year. And they've got 10.
Not 1 million. Just 1 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's huge. So when you do arrive in London, there is that degree of gravitas of realizing that there's 50 other national public speaking competitions happening on the ground with hundreds, if not thousands, of people competing in those competitions to feed into the IPSC, into the International Public Speaking Competition. So maybe for a young Caymanian listening to this year might be the best opportunity to take part. Once it's still nascent here, it's still starting. So you're going to get a lot of individual attention. We're flying in internationally renowned coaches to train the participants in our boot camp on Saturday. So it's a really good moment to be involved, because even if you happen to be crowned national champion and you go to London, you'll be representing Cayman in its first year in the IPSCs. And I think everyone's going to be quite interested to see the first Caymanian participant in London this year.
Absolutely. And the first Caribbean participant. Yes, that's pretty amazing. I mean, you could have transplants that might be living in the UK, US, Canada, somewhere else that's from the Caribbean, but really, truly somebody living now from a Caribbean country.
100%.
So I love to see that. Oh, yeah, I love to see that. Okay. So 16 to 20, the national competition is this Sunday. Sean, you mentioned that there's still 5 spots or so that you can take. So there's time for people to still sign up for this competition.
Yes, there is.
So I'm thinking there should be like a prep period for these people that wouldn't be 2 days before they go into the competition. But is there a prep period? Like with these 5 extra spots that you have available, is there anything that these interested participants might need to do to prepare for the boot camp and then the speaking competition on Sunday?
The boot camp is designed to give them a crash course in preparing them. So it's really about quality over quantity with regards to the time spent to prepare. I think those 6 to 10 hours we have prepared for the boot camp on Saturday, they're going to be intense enough to allow them to step into the competitions on Sunday feeling prepared. Beyond that, if you're a participant that applies in the next 24 hours, meditating on the team, reading about, and I'll bring it up because I always default to the team I had when I participated. The power to question is the basis of all human progress. That's something worth Googling, thinking about, reading about, so that when you do arrive to the bootcamp on Saturday, you come with your ideas, your passions, your thoughts already well defined in at least your head and your heart, and then you can start interacting with our oracy coaches to figure out exactly how you want to tackle the problem.
Okay, and that topic again was, can you repeat it?
The power to question is the basis of all human progress.
Okay, I like that. That's a thinking one too. There's very thinking topics that we have here. It really does provoke a lot of thought. I want to go back to something that Rebecca had said when you mentioned that, in Cayman we have about 30 students that are interested, right? in comparison, you gave a country like China has 1 million people, 1 million students in this program, or between ages of 16 to 20. So when you look at something like that, and this is the hard thing with Cayman because the population is what it is. It's around 80,000. And then you look at your big countries that have millions of people. And when you have so many more to compete with, like if it's me competing in Canada against the best, there's going to be hundreds of thousands of the best. If it's me in Cayman competing against the best, there might be maybe 10 other of the best. So that competitive scale, I think, is a lot different. And in saying that, I'm not saying that people from Cayman aren't seeing that competition as great as they should be. I'm not saying that at all. But when they go into these events, like look at the Olympics as another example, is there anything that Cayman is stopping, I guess I want to say? Is there anything that is stopping or kind of preventing participants that you would see from Cayman from advancing when they have to go against people that are probably really, 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 really skilled and have been doing this for a minute? They're the best coming out of a million or so.
I think with the talent we have here already, we can have a stab at the finals and the grand finals in London.
Okay.
So I see this as more a question of opportunity, which is why we have this burning passion to open ESU Cayman as opposed to talent. Opening that, if needs be, kicking down that door to open an international pathway for young people here to be able to raise their voice and use it and wield it on an international stage, I think is the priority.
Okay.
But it's clear that the talent is here already. We've seen it in so many.
So we volunteered for the inter-school debate a couple of months ago to understand the landscape a bit more, and we were blown away by the level of talent. And
excellent.
Really, we can supplement initiatives like this, and public speaking is just a different arm of oracy, of good speaking. And so, like Sean said, we're not worried about that. We're also trying to democratize access to good public speaking tools and resources, hence why we're flying over an internationally renowned speaker who's coached Sean back in the day. And we're hoping to give everyone the same amount of skills that you'd have in China.
Which is awesome, because there's that flip side of, okay, we might not have the greatest competition to pitch ourselves against, but maybe being of a smaller nation and less people to train with this, you have that kind of individualized time to train them even more. They get 100%. A bit of special attention
for sure
compared to a million people.
But that is quite the advantage.
Yes,
where we have the privilege of being able to get to know the participants by name, to work with each one to improve their skills, to set up a platform for them where facing their fear and advancing their skill set locally is the goal. And as again a fellow, I grew up in a small nation state, a small island in the Mediterranean. Community was so important to how we dealt with this problem, and it does take a village to be able to empower young people to feel that they have a space in which they can be influential and have a space where their voice isn't just listened to, but empowered to grow, to resonate, to improve itself over time. And the ESU has a global track record of doing that. So bringing it here, I think, is going to be exciting over the next, not just this year, but over the next 3 years to see how it grows and it flourishes.
Okay, now, Rebecca, you had mentioned that the ESU is trying to kind of democratize the program per se. So when it comes to the Cayman Islands, what does that really look like for the Cayman Islands? Is the program available for everybody? Is there a cost to be a part of the program?
So we're starting with this pilot of a competition, but obviously the vision is to infuse good public speaking practices within schools. An example is actually a lot of alumni come back and start their own debate clubs and public speaking clubs too. So the idea is to have mini ambassadors and sow the seeds within that and build a good community, or the feeling that everyone wants to improve their oracy skills. And so, for now, we're starting with the competition, but we have other educational products like the Discover Your Voice workshop, which we do in the UK a lot. I think I think we need to listen to the community and what they need, and we'll shape our initiatives around that.
Okay.
And on the question on barriers to entry and accessibility, talent doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care about your postcode, your background, your financial situation, and neither do we. Thanks to our founding sponsor, which is Maples Group, we can back everyone. We can make this free. We're flying people in from the sister islands to ensure that if there's anyone interested from the BRAC, as an example, they will be given accessibility to this opportunity.
Awesome.
If we go over with the amount of people that apply, we will make room. So we're not going to turn a single person away as long as you're eligible to take part and as long as you're interested. Flights to London are completely funded. We'll be sending a delegation there too. So you don't need to spend a cent, completely free. Doors are wide open, and if there's any barrier, we're happy to do our best to kick it down.
That's amazing. That's great. I love that. Well done, Maples Group, for stepping in as one of the major sponsors here. I love that. It's very important. It's really high cost of living right now. We know it's going to get higher. There's a lot of things to brace for, and you want to be able to give people that opportunity without money being an issue as to why somebody can't participate.
Definitely.
So I love that. I think that's awesome. I got a question about oracy because I've never used the word in my life before, I believe. I think even looking at the outline, I was like, oracy, it's not even a word I've used. Is there a difference? What does this mean exactly? And is there a difference between oracy and public speaking?
Yeah, the notion of oracy is actually quite a new one coming into the fray. I know the UK and the Department of Education there have actually implemented it into their policy to make oracy prevalent, because we talk about numeracy and literacy quite a lot. But the oracy side of things is for young people to be able to speak, listen, think clearly, and communicate with confidence. And that's what ESU Cayman is trying to do. With public speaking, that's a practical and exciting way to build that skill of oracy. And so I think if I could summarize the difference between the two is that public speaking is the stage, oracy is the skill for life, and it's what helps young people speak up in class, ask better questions, interview well, lead teams, and contribute meaningfully into their community.
I love it. Okay, so oracy is what I'm going to say is now the skill for life, not necessarily public speaking. Thank you for educating me on that part. We're going to go to our final commercial break right now, and when we come back, we'll get into some final details about ESU Cayman.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman News.
The courts heard that the dispute was over turtle meat allocation.
Designed to make it easier for vulnerable Caymanians to get access to financial assistance.
So that we can provide transitional housing for those people who need that help for a short period of time.
It's about continued evolution as a global gateway.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
7 days a week.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Message us at 925-3261 on WhatsApp today and get active with Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Hello, this is KK Elise from Swanky Kitchen Band, and I just want to say happy anniversary to Radio Cayman. Thank you for being the soundscape of our lives for the last 50 years. I have so many fond memories of Radio Cayman, and you're still my favorite radio station today. So happy anniversary and God bless.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. We're on the final stretch of this conversation with ESU Cayman. That's the English Speaking Union Cayman. And in studio with me, I have Rebecca Preen, Deputy Chair of the ESU Commonwealth and co-founder of ESU Cayman, and Sean Elul, co-founder of ESU Cayman. Now, as we have maybe 11 minutes left in this, so I want to get into a couple specific questions here. In talking about oracy as a life skill and public speaking as where you can practice this life skill, which Rebecca just taught me this difference here. Thank you. How can public speaking strengthen Cayman's classrooms and the future workforce?
Well, life is a series of impromptu moments, from job interviews to having difficult conversations with people you care about, going down on one knee and attempting to have the best proposal you can give. I think a shocking thing we realize when we leave school and face the real world is it's not just about having the best idea, but it's also about being able to communicate that idea to your peers. And the ESU's focus on oracy really does prepare young people to be able to deliver on that front as they face the world.
Okay, all right. How can the schools, parents, and the wider community support ESU Cayman?
I think encouraging young people to apply and take that initial step is definitely the start of it all. Sharing the opportunities, spreading the word, and saying what you can benefit from going to a competition like this. We offer certificates of participation, which is internationally recognized for the students that are, for example, applying to unis in the UK. They know the ESU. The ESU has been with them for a long time. And so having that international recognition and accreditation that you've taken that initial step is also something you have in your back pocket. The wider community can support through mentoring, signing up to be a judge. There's sponsorship and spreading the word as well. The more people know about it, the more people speak about it, and the notion of oracy, the better.
How do people apply?
There's a website called esucayman.com, and it's got all the information you need there. There's an apply button on the top right, that's how you get there.
Okay, perfect, easy peasy. For those that are interested in improving their debate skills and whatnot, how do you think something like ESU will help strengthen debate clubs across Cayman and shape our future leaders? I know we talked about the future workforce, but also future leaders.
Well, leadership begins way before you're given a position. It starts, I believe, in the moments where you can look beyond just yourself, and in moments where you can face your fears as an individual and attempt to get out of your comfort zone. The ESU is the perfect place to do that safely and to use the fear of public speaking, glossophobia, the most common phobia on the planet, as a means to test your boundaries, to test your fears, to test your anxieties, and to safely play with them in a way in which you will be celebrated based on your journey, as opposed to the requirements of the outcome, so to speak. I think that's where the ESU really shines. Not everyone will go home with a trophy, but everyone is a winner in their own way. And celebrating that as a community is a fantastic way to build everyone up with regards to the competition itself.
One of the principles that we hold dearly as the ESU is respectful dialogue. So when you say what makes a great leader, it's someone who can debate respectfully and listen as well as speak. And that's what we encourage because public speaking and good oracy practice isn't just lecturing. It's the digesting of information and respecting the opponent and knowing your audience.
The listening is a key part right there.
Mm-hmm.
I like how you explain that. And yes, I do have to admit, Sean, that you also taught me something new today with the term glossophobia.
I think people fear public speaking more than death, so they'd rather be in the casket than doing the eulogy itself.
No way, wow. Wow, and I love it. But for me, it's been something that I've kind of been on a stage since I was pretty young, so that fear was not always there for sure. But it depends what I got to talk about. If you give me an impromptu topic to focus on, I don't know. I don't know how professional that dialogue is going to be right then and there. Okay, the long-term vision for ESU Cayman. What legacy do you hope that it will leave?
I think long term we want ESU Cayman to become a national home for oracy, public speaking, debate and youth voice. It's only the start. We've got this annual competition, but we'll build it out into mentorship, school partnerships and more international pathways. I think the legacy we hope to leave is a generation of young people who can speak with confidence, listen with empathy and lead with purpose. Sean, I don't know if you wanted to add anything.
To us, it's not just about empowering a generation of speakers, but a generation of thinkers, of leaders, and individuals that are confident and astute in attempting to leave the world better than how they found it. So when I think of the long-term vision of Cayman, of ESU Cayman, I think of succession planning. I think of how this can grow into a community that leads itself, one where the ethos, the philosophy is improving the national and international reality of the world we find on a day-to-day basis, and using communication and respect and dialogue as a conduit to be able to do that.
I think it's so important. There's a part of me that thinks that the art of communication, the skill there, is being lost a little bit. Yeah, you guys are nodding, so I don't know if you agree with me.
I also think the art of discernment too. So navigating through complex information or information that may or may not be right, having that critical lens and being able to use that judgment and project what you believe in. Discernment and communication is important.
Oh, I love that you said the art of discernment is also maybe fading. How would you suggest that we improve our discernment?
I think going back to the question we have this year of the power to question is the basis of all human progress. It's that Socratic way of thinking where you ask the whys. You ask the 5 whys. I'm a business analyst, by the way, so there's a school of thought where you delve into to get to the root cause, you ask why 5 times. And so I think if one thing you could take away is to just always question what information is given to you and who benefits from that.
Yeah, where you got it, all the rest. Okay, I like that. Yes, especially in our world of what they like to call fake news. Some people at least. Absolutely. Okay, so I did ask about the long-term vision for the ESU and the legacy that you hope it leaves. But what legacy do you think that it has imparted on each of you? What has the whole foundation of the ESU provided for you at this stage in your life that you can reflect on?
The ESU helped me find my voice. It changed the trajectory of my life, and it gave me permission to walk through those doors that I might have not been able to walk through otherwise.
That's pretty powerful, actually. You just saying the ESU changed your voice and the trajectory of your life. That's very powerful right there.
Oh. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the competition.
Like in Cayman?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Not just here delivering this, but I come from a small fishing village on a tiny island that's often overlooked in the Mediterranean. And the idea of representing my country was already exciting enough. And going abroad and seeing London for the first time and being there. But then having equal footing with these large states, and to have my voice and my opinions be respected on that stage, and to recognize that if you push yourself and all you need to do is try, and it's okay to fail, you can just fail forward and improve and try again. That just changed, just like Becky said, the trajectory of my life in a way in which no challenge was too big and no dream was too ambitious. And it just had this ripple effect on everything else I did.
That's amazing. And you know how I brought up earlier the competition-wise, like are we, Cayman being a really small nation, do we even have that depth of competition to go against locally here? Are we going to be ready for the people who have tons of competition that they can prep against, right? But you, I think, are a prime example of a country, if you can compare Malta to Cayman. I don't know what the population is in Malta, or if you have any idea.
It's 300,000 Maltese.
Okay.
And the population is very dense, close to 1 million people total. And it itself is one where we have the same feeling, where even the turnout for the ESU was quite low.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe we have as ESU Cayman, we have a shot at making the finals. We have a lot of talent over here. All they need is a stage. All they need is the opportunity, and I think they're going to shine.
And that's what I'm saying is you came from a similar country, a small fishing village. You didn't really maybe see what was out there, and then this opportunity came to you, and just like Becky said, it changed the trajectory of her life. It also did for you. So I think that's a prime example of what could happen, what the opportunities lie ahead of you. So. I got to work on my oracy, I guess. All right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And a reminder to people, if you'd like to apply, you can go to ESUCayman.com. Perfect. All right. And the national competition is this Sunday. People still have time to turn out for it. All they got to do is go to the website and find out the details there, right?
100%.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, or joining me this morning.
Thank you.
No problem at all. We're going to go to the 9 a.m. headline news, and then I have some open line right after that.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
Cayman welcomes 26 new firefighters. The official passing out ceremony was held on Monday after recruits completed 27 weeks of training. The ceremony included the traditional inspection of recruits by Her Excellency the Governor. In international news, a Russian missile and drone attack killed at least 18 people across Ukraine overnight, including 2 children, marking one of Moscow's largest assaults in recent months. An 8-year-old boy and a woman were pulled from the rubble of an apartment block, and they were among 12 people killed. Regional officials said the capital, Kyiv, saw 6 people killed as well. President Volodymyr Zelensky said civilian infrastructure and energy facilities had been targeted across the country, with more than 100 people injured. Russia's defense ministry said the strikes had been in response to previous Ukrainian attacks, saying in a statement that the, quote, strike objectives had all been achieved. And clashes have continued in southern Lebanon despite Israel and Hezbollah accepting a U.S. plan for a partial ceasefire. President Donald Trump on Monday said he'd spoken to both sides and they, quote, agreed that all shooting will stop after Iran warned Israeli military actions in Lebanon were a threat to the U.S.-Iran ceasefire. Lebanon said Hezbollah had accepted the plan for it to halt attacks on Israel and for Israel not to attack the Lebanese capital, Beirut. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed the agreement, but he said strikes on Beirut would go ahead, quote, if Hezbollah does not stop attacking our cities and civilians. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Your Cayman Islands Health Services Authority has been the national healthcare provider of the Cayman Islands for many generations. We have elevated our level of care to ensure you, our patients, have the best possible experience. We offer better access to care close to home with the most locations on all 3 islands, delivering a full range of primary, secondary, tertiary, and emergency care. HSA is a JCI accredited organization, and we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or belly fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Message us at 925-3261 on WhatsApp today and get active with Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
50 years of Cayman's voice, the People's Station. Strong, dedicated, committed, where every story belongs. News, music, community events, and talk shows lighting the way. From Grand Cayman shores to the Brac standing tall. Little Cayman's heartbeat, we're here for them all. Radio Cayman, 50 years we stand. One people, 3 islands, broadcasting boldly into the future.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm Kathy Miller, and we have some open line. It is the first time I'm doing open line in, I don't know, Susan, a long time, right? At least, I was gone for a couple weeks. So there's that. And when I got back for last week, we were full with the show. So I'm happy to have a little bit of open line and talk about what's on my mind and definitely what's on your mind. So the numbers to call are 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or you can WhatsApp call or WhatsApp text us at 925-3261. I know that yesterday during Talk Today, there was some staticky issues with the phone lines, the regular numbers. So if that's the case again today, I'm not sure. Definitely turn to the WhatsApp to call or text us. Again, that number is 925-3261. So I was on vacation for a couple weeks there in May, the month of legends. Again, it was also my birthday. So I went to Brazil. I had the time of my life. I know I mentioned it briefly, but I'm just really going to give some kudos to Brazil right now. And if you haven't been to Brazil and it's on your bucket list, try to go to some of your other bucket list destinations first, because you are going to want to keep returning to Brazil. I guarantee you that. I went to Rio de Janeiro, and the biggest thing that stood out to me was how prevalent the Brazilian culture was. It was in your face. There was no mistaking what Brazil culture is. Everywhere you went, there was live samba music. All of a sudden, a band would just form in a cafe, or you're walking down the street and there's different people coming in to rotate and play with a band or sing with a band. And it was the most unusual thing in my life. It was just like, it's just various people joining a band, and I loved it. It was great. I'm talking about people that are in their 90s that you see on the roads, in the cafes, the restaurants, dancing to samba music. And that is some very, very, very fast footwork. But these people are dancing and enjoying life. It's a country that is very into their, I'm going to say health and wellness, the fitness aspect. It would be 2-3 in the morning and I would see people jogging down the road, actually jogging, not running away from somebody, jogging, exercising. Copacabana Beach. You could play football all hours of the night on the beach. There was always activity going on. It was so interesting to me. It was a great atmosphere. You could just feel a great vibe in Brazil. So that is my testament to Brazil right now. I could get into it a whole lot more. I did go hang gliding. I did a favela tour. I did all the iconic things that you're supposed to do in Rio, which is visit Christ the Redeemer, of course, which is a wonder of the world. That was absolutely amazing to be there. And I understand, I think in Colombia, they're trying to make something similar to Christ the Redeemer, but 2 or 3 times the size. So we'll see if that happens. I also did Sugarloaf Mountain, which gives you some of the best vantage points of Rio, although nothing was better than my hang gliding experience. You couldn't get a better vantage point of Rio than that. So absolutely loved it. I got to hand feed monkeys, which apparently you're not supposed to do ever in life, but I don't care. That was a huge core life memory for me right there. I was like a little kid feeding monkeys. I was so happy that I thought my life was made at that point. So Brazil was great. Loved it. So that was how that vacation went. I absolutely encourage people to go. If you want to be anywhere in the world, you want to check out, aside from the Cayman Islands, of course, you want to check out Brazil. So that is my review of checking out Brazil. But the big news I want to talk about is coming off the weekend with the Out of This World concert. I just call it the Cartel concert, the Vibes Cartel concert. I wasn't asking people if they're going out of this world. I'm sorry, John and Danielle. They are the promoters of this event. I just called it the Cartel show. Are you going to Cartel? Not are you going to Nelly? Not are you going to see Voice? Majority of people I knew that were going for Cartel. So I'm sure you've heard about it because we have been talking about that show on radio, especially here on Radio Cayman in the past couple of weeks. There was a lot of calls coming in during Talk Today yesterday. I'm interested to see if people are going to be calling during my segment as I discuss this, because I definitely have my perspective to share. I'm not neutral about anything when it comes to cartel. And we're going to see if any of those callers will also call and, discuss with me how they feel about how that event was. So it took place Saturday night at Festival Green in Camana Bay. The headline artist, as mentioned, was Vibes Cartel. Hip-hop artist Nelly performed, and soca artist Voice from Trinidad also performed. There was also some local acts. I want to shout out Opri Hey, one of my favorite local artists, and our very own Vasco, known as Yannick Powell here at Radio Cayman. He also touched the stage with Opri Hey. Joining Nelly and Voice on stage was Ashanti, R&B queen. That was such a beautiful moment. It was great to see and a bit of a surprise to us. Although, if you're like me in my little musical head, I absolutely knew Ashanti was going to pop up on that stage and do a song. Like, if you didn't think that was going to happen, you need to expand your vision here a little bit. I knew that was going to happen. DJ Lynn with Coalition Sound also provided some entertainment earlier in the night. And of course, me, your girl, Kathy, I was front and center for Cartel. So that might have been my 5th time seeing him live. I thought it was 4th, but I actually think it's the 5th show. And it was absolutely unforgettable. So I want to talk about some of the storylines that are surrounding Cartel, and I want to give my perspective on it, because last week I didn't get the chance to really say much besides let's focus on the problems Cayman has before we start focusing on other things, take that little fleck of dust out of your own eye. So I'm going to begin with my review of the concert, how that went, and then get into the Vibes Cartel drama that people were making it to be. So despite the approximate 400 signatures gathered to stop Cartel, Out of This World saw close to 11,000 attendees. Over 10,000 attendees were patrons. The rest were working the event. So staff working the event. It could be security. It could be the backstage staff. It could be the staff that artists have with them. It could be food vendors, drink vendors, the police, border and security, border control being there as well. So there was a lot of people. But I did get it from Selector Renegade, or John Watler, the promoter for Out of This World. I double-checked with him yesterday, and I said, there's a lot of narrative about how many people came. I keep hearing 20K from some fake news sources that we've never even seen, cover news in Cayman. But they were citing 20,000. It was not 20,000. Coming from the promoter himself, it was close to 11,000 people at that show, and definitely the biggest show that I've ever seen in the Cayman Islands in my 20 years or so of being here. So I did miss Voice's performance, which I'm a little bummed at because he is so good, great energy. Would have loved to have seen him, but the line to get in was a little long, despite having a wristband or not, or a ticket or not. Y'all had to join the same line, despite being VIP or not. Trust me, y'all had to join the same line. So that didn't make no sense to me. Why do we have to pick up our bands ahead of time when we're all joining the same line? Security didn't even know what was going on. You could ask people, where am I supposed to stand? But I have this kind of a band. Where do I stand? I'm not supposed to be waiting in this particular line. Anyways, nobody knew what was really going on. So that's a bit of a, that shouldn't have happened. When you're paying a certain price for a ticket that is not general admission, I better not be standing in a line for more than 5 minutes. When you know that there is going to be a certain time where it gets really busy, you ensure that that certain time is adequately staffed. End of discussion there. Absolutely end of. Don't tell me to come earlier. I don't need to come earlier. I don't need to come from 4 p.m. or 7 p.m. I'm going to come when I come. And if I paid a pretty penny for my ticket, I better not have to stand in line for half an hour or longer. Just going to say that right there. Other than that, it was a flawless show. From what I caught, at least with the last 2 artists, with Nelly and Vibes Cartel. So let's talk about Nelly coming out. He is an amazing performer. I've seen him live before. He's a great artist that brings great energy, and I had a feeling that he would bring Ashanti, that is his lady, and they had a moment together on stage. And I also want to shout out Nelly for coming on stage in a Cayman Islands national team basketball jersey that was supported by the Cayman Islands Basketball Association. And I do know that our very own Dion Anglin had a huge part in facilitating the handover of that jersey to Nelly. I think on social media you might be seeing some other narratives, but this is a story coming from Dion herself, and as a woman of integrity that reports the news, of course, I absolutely believe Dion telling me this story, and it was a pretty amazing one. So Dion got a call on Saturday from somebody saying, hey, Nelly really wants a Cayman Hounds jersey to wear on stage. Do you think we can get any Cayman Hounds basketball jerseys? And Dion said, ooh, let me find out. So traditionally, a national jersey is going to have the national team player's last name on it. I believe there was only a couple years where they did not have the team member's last name on the back of the jersey. And Dion called so many coaches to find out, do you have any past national jerseys available? Can we give one to Nelly? Most of the people she got a hold of said, no, they don't, or it has a name on it, or it's not in great condition. And she was able to reach out to another coach on island that did have a couple of jerseys that was actually gifted to him by the Cayman Islands Basketball Association, from my understanding. So he was gifted a couple of jerseys, never been worn, and of those jerseys, he was able to give Nelly a choice. Do you want to wear a red Cayman Islands jersey or a white one? And of course, Nelly chose the best color, which was red right there. So to see Nelly on stage with a huge Cayman Islands jersey, a beautiful red one saying the words Cayman Islands right across it, I can't explain what great branding that is for the country, because he's going to have shots of him, close-up shots. But in those close-up shots, you are going to see the words Cayman Islands printed on his chest. You're not going to miss that. And that's what I absolutely love about this. So big up to Dion Anglin and the Cayman Islands Basketball Association in facilitating Nelly being able to wear that national team jersey on stage, because man, people loved it. I loved it when I saw that out there. So big up to you guys. That was amazing. And as I said, incredible branding for the country. Now I'm going to get into cartel. Susan, do you think I can take a last commercial break right here? Okay, we're going to take my last commercial break. I'm going to get into cartel and the experience that he had in the Cayman Islands.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Got something on your mind that you want to share? You can send a text, send a voice note, or even request a song. Go on, give it a try. Message us at 925-3261 on WhatsApp today. And get active with Radio Cayman. Also follow us on Facebook and Instagram, #Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Radio Cayman. This is how we wake you up in the morning. Praise time on Radio Cayman.
Sing your praise to the Lord. Come on, everybody, stand up and sing one more. Hallelujah, give your praise to the Lord. We are united in Jesus Christ. We are the soldiers of the land.
Praise time.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
There's a meeting up in heaven. Roll call. He's a
Praise time.
Jesus in the morning, yeah.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
Your song flowed through my lips. Your work moved through my hands. Your thoughts stay on my mind. Live in me.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
All right, welcome back to The Buzz. We're in the final 12-minute stretch of today's show. And as I mentioned, I'm going to be talking about Vibes Cartel at Out of This World this past Saturday. which was held at Festival Green at Camana Bay. I said that there was just over 10,000 people, patrons to the event, and around 11,000 when you consider all the staff that were there for the event as well. And that comes straight from the promoter himself, John Watler, better known as Selecta Renegade. I also asked if he had any numbers on tourism arrivals, if there was any kind of estimate or idea that maybe the ministry or the Department of Tourism may have given, and he didn't answer that question as yet. So maybe he doesn't have that info as yet, but hopefully we can get that info in the next coming weeks, because I think that would be some great data to share. You know, we want to measure what we do in Cayman, and it is very easy to measure tourism arrivals for certain events in Cayman if we have a very easy system in place to measure it. It's not that hard to do, guys. It's really not that hard to do. They do it in Trinidad for Carnival, for example. So in saying that, I'd love to know what those tourism arrivals were, because I know a lot of people came down for that show. Those hotels were booked up. You don't really get that at the start of hurricane season in Cayman. So the irony of the situation is not lost on me. The mere fact that what I've seen in over 20 years in the Cayman Islands to be the biggest concert held here was for Vibes Cartel, a man that certain groups petitioned against coming here. So the irony there is not lost on me, that the biggest concert ended up being somebody that part of the community was protesting against. So for context, Cartel was convicted in 2014 for the murder of Clive Lizard Williams. It's the longest criminal trial in Jamaican legal history, and he was sentenced to 35 years and spent nearly 13 years incarcerated. I can tell you, for his fans, we were heartbroken, but also just in disbelief. However, in July 2024, the UK's Privy Council overturned that conviction, not because they found him innocent, but because of juror misconduct during the trial. He never should have been given a guilty verdict. It should have been retried at that time. So the Privy Council found that the jury was compromised and the conviction could not stand. The Jamaican Court of Appeal then declined to order a retrial, citing his deteriorating health, specifically his battle with grave disease and the time that he had already served. He served 13 years for a murder that he was never found guilty of. So if he had a conviction and served time, how was he allowed to perform in the Cayman Islands? That was a question I had. I know when a friend was telling me, I was like, no. There's no way. It has to be 7 years after he gets out of jail, or whatever that rule was, right? And I was like, no, I would love to believe this, but there's no way, just because of a criminal conviction. And I was wrong. Under Section 109 of Cayman's Custom and Border Control Law, a prohibited immigrant includes any person who has been convicted of an offense and sentenced to imprisonment. But that classification requires an active conviction. Since Cartel's conviction was quashed, he has no standing conviction anywhere in the world. Remember, he wasn't even supposed to be found guilty because of the jury misconduct. So he is legally a free man with a clean record. Premier, the Honorable Andre Ebanks, addressed this directly at a community meeting in West Bay, saying, quote, "The facts presented is that he did not meet the definition of a prohibited immigrant, so there wasn't any legal grounds to refuse." Cabinet did not just wave him through without conditions. His entertainment work permit came with explicit restrictions, according to the Compass. Immigration enforcement officers were to be present at the show, monitoring his lyrical content. And I bet you those same immigration officers were probably singing the content that Cartel couldn't sing, because I know the rest of the crowd was. We all were. His movement on island was restricted. He could not perform certain songs. He could not do unplanned media appearances. And the show could be shut down if he violated those terms. And I can tell you, he put on a very clean performance. Allegedly, there was one time he might have slipped up and said a word, but he apologized immediately. I don't even remember that happening, because it was an absolutely clean performance. So I want to talk about those opposing Cartel, because their perspective reflects a part of Cayman society, and they do deserve to be heard fairly. There were community members, church leaders, and advocacy groups who circulated petitions calling for Cartel's permit to be denied, gathering allegedly around 400 signatures. They were on Talk Today last week, standing their ground, as they should. They made moral and spiritual arguments, and they argued that his presence and his music, that it would be harmful to the youth and to our values as a community. And they're not alone in this in the Caribbean. In 2024 in Barbados, police did intervene and cut his show short mid-performance. In Trinidad and Tobago, which I don't even think he performed in because of he wasn't paid, if I remember correctly, government ministers were seriously considering banning people under 18 from his show and prohibiting specific songs. And in St. Lucia, he also faced outright bans over concerns about explicit content and its impact on young people. So people do have this feeling. It's not just in Cayman. The concerns that were raised here were part of a regional pattern. As mentioned, it's not old-fashioned thinking. These are real people with real convictions about what they believe is right for their communities. But I also want to ask those same groups a question. And with genuine respect, where is that same energy for everything else going on in Cayman? Where is that same energy for the youth mental health crisis that we have in Cayman? Where is that same energy for sentences that are passed on sex offenders, especially pedophiles? Where is that same energy when it comes to what is actually happening in Cayman? Because you can try to ban Cartel from coming here, but you can't ban his music from going to people's ears. People can still access it. So what is the difference there? If we're going to be focusing on ensuring that our youth or our society is not influenced by lyrics and thoughts and ideas that could come out in music, then we have to stand 10 toes down on everything that's secular, every piece of streaming content that comes into our homes, our devices, on our radios. But we're not. Cayman is selective about who they want to choose to subjugate. And in saying that, Cartel's he's not an open door for evil. We've had so many artists that also sing about infidelity, misogyny, that glorify drug use or violence. They easily get permits to perform here, but people were just focused on Cartel because he is an international star, and that's for a reason. Very much for a reason. So I am very cognizant that I've got about 4 minutes left here, and I'm trying not to go over time, but I have so much to say. So while Cartel's music is explicit, some of it is violent, and some of it is sexually graphic, all of that is true, just like how some of his songs are about God, are about gratitude, and are about struggle. But so is half of what plays on Radio Cayman and all the other stations in the Cayman Islands. And as I mentioned, plays on our TVs and our devices at home. So despite efforts to keep Cartel away, over 10,000 people showed up on Saturday, and I can guarantee you that the majority of those people came for Cartel alone. That is a statement about what this community actually wants, even when parts of it are publicly saying otherwise. And I've lived here long enough to know that we have never seen a concert with numbers like that in Cayman. Not for any act. Not the Jazz Fest, not Kaboo, not ever in my 20 years of living here. So what does that tell us? It tells us that there is a massive demand for opportunity for world-class entertainment that speaks to Caribbean culture. It tells us that dancehall and Cartel's music specifically resonates here in a profound way, whether you like it or not. It tells us that the people who signed that petition do not represent the majority view. And the majority view is not always right either. I just want to make that clear. However, Cayman does have to focus on her own problems. As mentioned, Cayman has problems, gang problems, domestic violence problems, drug problems, mental health crisis, especially with the youth. We talk about that on this show. So none of that came with Cartel. He flew in on the 30th. He flew in, I believe it was the day before, and he flew right out. Those problems were here before he arrived, and they'll be here long after he's gone. But what I do want to share with you is the words that he left with our people and for the country. So he said many things publicly. On stage, he thanked the Cayman Islands government and Cayman, the country, for having him. I did see Her Excellency, the governor, at the show. And she looked like she was enjoying herself. Okay? I'd love to see that. That was amazing. Governor, loved seeing you there. Now I'm going to read you what Cartel had to say. So this is what Vibes Cartel had to say upon leaving the Cayman Islands. Quote, "This was my first time ever setting foot in your beautiful country, and the love I received brought me close to tears more than once. From the moment I landed, the energy was different. The fans at the airport staff, the security team that looked after me, the people I met on the streets, the food, the culture, the kindness, every single experience reminded me that God is the greatest and people are beautiful. A special thank you to the promoter and his wonderful wife and daughter. You welcome me not as an artist, but as family. Your warmth, your spirituality, and your genuine kindness will stay with me forever. Some people do business, but some people leave an impression on your soul. You are truly gems. I also want to give thanks to the government of the Cayman Islands for sponsoring the event and for allowing me the opportunity to enter your country and perform for the people. Respect and gratitude. And to the church groups and others who may have had concerns or opposition to my visit, no hard feelings whatsoever. We may not always agree, but I respect your right and your beliefs. Blessings to you and your families the same way. To every fan who sang every word, took a picture, waved a hand, said a prayer, or simply showed support, thank you. You made my first visit unforgettable. God and time, Vibes Cartel." That was a beautiful message to leave for the Cayman Islands. And as he said, for the church groups and others who may have had concerns or opposition to my visit, no hard feelings whatsoever. We may not always agree, but I respect your right, your beliefs. Blessings to you and your families the same way. I just want to know if those same groups are also saying blessings to you, Adija Palmer. Blessings to you as well. Respect to you same way. Because that was awfully big of them. You know what Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. Cartel went very high right there. He also had a separate post bigging up the food at Mango Tree, saying if you want some good food in Cayman, go get it from Mango Tree. That is the best endorsement Mango Tree will ever get. I loved it. It's amazing. There was so much love that Vibes Cartel shared here in Cayman. And if you weren't on social media and not seen it, you wouldn't know. If you weren't at that show, you wouldn't understand the unity and the energy that was pulsating through that crowd. Mainly for him. Yes, amazing other artists, but that was mainly a Cartel show. I am extremely thankful that he was able to come. It was my 5th time seeing him. He put on a great show. He gave us the tunes that we wanted to hear because he knows Cayman is a Caribbean country. He's not pandering to people in the UK or North America that might know more of his, I guess, radio-friendlier hits. We really know Cartel's catalog, and to have him perform it here was a beautiful thing to see. I loved how Out of This World went, or as I just call it, the Cartel show. I don't know how it's going to get better than that. I mean, there's a couple artists I can think of, but for me, Vibes Cartel is one of my favorite artists. And I'm happy to see how well he's doing in life and how he's been able to turn his circumstances around and make it a beautiful life for him going forward. And I wish the same for all of us. Let's take that little speck of dust out of our own eye and concentrate on exactly what's in front of us before we go to judge other people and other events happening. Let's take care of our business first. Thanks for joining me on The Buzz and for listening to me on this open line. And I am coming to an end of The Buzz. I did go a couple minutes earlier, or over, I should say. Thank you, Susan. And I'm going to bring the show to an end. I'll be back with you on Thursday on The Buzz. The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.